I feel like 95% of the community doesn't really understand why Energy Shield is so strong, and they simply just see a fat number and they go, oh, that's OP.
You want to know the real reason why players prefer ES builds over life builds?
It's a lot easier to acquire multiple layers of defenses when you're playing an ES character opposed to a life build.
Nope.
If you're playing on the top right side of the tree, kind of like the shadow/witch area, you're already kind of gated because there's just not that much life up here. So you're kind of forced to either go to the Scion life wheel, more to the Templar, or even Marauder side just to get life.
Not that either.
The other big thing about this is that a lot of players that play life-based builds get stunned, which is kind of funny, because as ES characters, we never get stunned, because we always use stun immunity on us, because it's just kind of part of the game, right? It's uncommon for us to not hit over 10k ES while still sacrificing gear.
That's an okay point, but still not really why. So the reason players really prefer ES over life builds is simply because of effective health pool. Get ready for it. I'm going to be saying effective health pool a lot in this video. Here are the things that drive this point. The biggest threats in Path of Exile are only solved by having a large enough effective health pool. Volatile deals 9k damage, have 10k effective health pool to survive it. Percent damage reduction from any source gets better the more effective health you have. Example here, if you have 5k health and have Fortify, you have 6k effective health pool. However, if you have 10k health and Fortify, you have 12k effective health pool. This point's a little bit longer, so bear with me, but ES builds can reach their highest potential effective health pool at any level through gear and passives, while life builds can only reach their highest potential effective health pool at level 100 due to gaining base life at each level. An example of this would be at level 85, a character has 180 less base health than a character that is level 100. So there's that. You need to get all of your levels in order to have as much life as possible, while you don't necessarily need to do that with Energy Shield. Discipline is mechanically better than Vitality. When you have a build with regen, getting more maximum health is always better, as it makes your regen better and protects you from larger hits, while only increasing regen percentage strictly helps your sustain. So you could make an argument of life having more flexibility with auras because ES builds almost always require discipline. But what I think this really shows is how underwhelming most auras truly are in Path of Exile compared to discipline. While Pox's video brought up some decent points, they were flawed and certainly not a reason why you would choose ES over life. The flask effectiveness and flask point is not relevant because all characters could benefit from flasks. However, when you have a higher effective health pool, utility flasks do better. In fact, you could even argue why bother using life flask on life builds once you reach a certain level of effective health pool. If the successful builds in Path of Exile are all sustaining through leech or regen, what is the point of recovering 1000 1500 health instantly when your threats are being one-shot by volatiles? No amount of recovery is going to help you versus that. So this point, in all honesty, this point deserves its own video. The pathing on the tree is consistently even when it comes to ES and life clusters in terms of flexibility. You could easily get a build on the north side of the tree with 190% maximum life and 4 to 5 joules. And I'm just pointing that this isn't really a good argument for why players choose life over ES, because it's not that hard to path in a way that gets you, the level of life that hardcore players deem viable. And then the last thing in the video, I agree that it's actually pretty funny. Life builds get stunned as well when you really think about it. As Pox said, ES builds sacrifice gear slots, and they still maintain 10k plus ES, but this just points to how incredibly strong stun immunity is, and how it actually might be undervalued for a character when they are going on with a life build. I mean, a lot of life builds that are between Marauder and Duelist, Unwavering Stance is right there. You could just grab stun immunity. So why not? Again, this just points to how incredibly strong stun immunity is. So those are the things that the points in Pox's video I just wanted to briefly touch on. But I have a solution. I have a proposal, if you will. Okay. As I said earlier, a level 100 character has 180 more base life than a level 85 character, and this base life is integral to reaching maximum effective health pool. Okay. So what if GGG changed it to where you get all your base life by level 85? And for the last 15 levels, you can get 1% more life per level for 15% more at level 100. You would just be getting more life. And I think the goal here is to actually just make life more competitive. I think it's fine that we have a clear decision on which one's better, but I think what players really want is just life to be more competitive. ES builds would still have the inherent regen, which would benefit them. So what if life just ultimately had slightly higher effective health pool, but no inherent regen? Like, there would need to be more changes than that to make life equal to ES, but at least that would be a step in the right direction. Again, it's just about making life more competitive more competitive to ES. So there are just some things to think about. Pox's video got a lot of attention on the subreddit and on YouTube, despite not actually being why ES builds are more popular than life. And I don't want a situation where people think that nerfing CI or ES will magically make their life build any better, because it won't. It just won't. So these are the reasons why ES is more popular than life, and there's my proposed solution to making life more competitive with ES. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it. Maybe someone could actually listen to this and not be this big echo chamber of, yeah, great, you're right. Let's have 30,000 views and so many likes and dislikes, even though this video is kind of incorrect. Yeah, twitch.tv/wabachaw if you want to, come hear more of my ramblings about trade, ES, balance, whatever. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
And it's kind of a shame because I feel like a lot of the maximum life builds, if you want to hit over 10k life, are themed around kind of a gimmick like fire. You have Explosive Arrow, you have, Iron Will Firestorm. I don't even know if people pay that. I don't think people do Iron Will Flame Blast totems. You can play, Blood Magic Fire Trap. There's a bunch of these things that are all centered around one element, essentially. It's really uncommon to see a guy use Cold Snap with 10k HP or Storm Call with 10k HP because it just doesn't happen. And that kind of really gates the playstyle of a lot of builds, and I feel like that's just not as fun.